All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, thank you so much for everyone being a part of this GEM educational connection session today. Now you may be asking, what is GEM? So GEM is the Global Exchange Mentoring Program hosted by Pharmacy Initiative Leaders, also known as PILS, in the United States, connecting with our colleagues in Africa by way of Innovamp Healthcare. So thank you so much for being a part of today. And I want you to know that this is a first of its kind collaboration. So if you're a part of this today and you're here today, you're a part of history. So I want you to understand that this is something momentous. This is something paramount that is happening and will continue to grow over time. I definitely want to thank everyone from the Innovamp team on this call for allowing us to be a part of your community and allowing us to bring our community to you. And we all about giving, we all about connecting. So we really want to give you kudos for this call. And I definitely want to thank my people here at PILS. So thank you so much for really putting in the work to make this happen. And definitely a special kudos to Dr. Joshua Blackwell and Dr. George Oakman, my brothers and my people that are going to help you figure out ways of how we can understand the power of connection today. So once again, thank you so much for joining the Global Exchange Mentoring Program. You are a part of GEM because you are gems, and we really want to give you as many gems as possible today and for the months to come. So with that said, today we're going to talk about the power of connection. And a lot of that goes into what we're going to be doing. But before we get to the power of connection, I want everyone to stop what they're doing and make sure to follow us on our various social media platforms, specifically Instagram at Pills Connect, as well as Innovamp at Innovamp _. So that's at Pills Connect, PILS, Connect, CONNECT, and Innovamp, INNOVAMP _, as well as Twitter, because we're going to be live tweeting throughout the entire session. Once again, that's at Pills Connect and at Innovamp _RX. And please take a look at the chat because we do have some great people posting this for me. And last but not least, please join our official Global Exchange Mentoring Program Telegram, where we're going to be talking about all things GEM, recaps, pre discussions, as well as post discussions to really help you and really give the gems that we need to give to you, and we can learn from each other throughout this session and throughout future sessions as well. So without further ado, I want to get you all empowered and engaged going forward. So first question for you, and we actually had this posed in the Telegram if you were in earlier, but what do you want to get out of this session today? So let us know in the chat. All right, George, I want to know exactly how to connect with people. Love it. We'll definitely go over that today. Don't be shy. Let us know what you want to get out of the day. Thank you, Tola. How can I make an impact? Star says she can't wait to hear the speakers. Portia, I want to learn more about gems. You will definitely learn more about gems for sure. All right. So continue to let us know, and really we want to understand what you want to get out of GEM because we want to help you get to where you want to be. We have some other comments. I want to know how to connect and sustain healthy connections. Amazing. Love that. I want to be a pharmacist. Precious mentioned I want to be a pharmacist with a difference. Nurse Gift says I want to connect with new people today. For sure, that's definitely going to happen. Marissa, I want to learn more about pharmacy in other parts of the world. I agree, Marissa, I do as well. Comfort, how can I become globally relevant? That's powerful. Francis mentioned that hoping to learn about everything that is about and hoping to connect with mentors. world-class skills in pharmacy care and hoping to learn the value of connection in this field, how to make the best use of them. Absolutely loving everything that's coming through the chat, and we're definitely going to hop right into that. So I'm going to lead off and allow my brother, Dr. Josh Okerman, in giving us the take-home message for today.
So as you can read, everything and everyone is connected. If you hear nothing else today, if you have stuff going on in the background, if your Wi-Fi goes off and on, I want you to see and hear that everything, and Josh says when I type, you can hear it. So everything and everyone is connected. And so hopefully you take that away in terms of why you're even on here today is because you were connected to someone physically or virtually. Someone sent you this link. You saw it on our Instagram or our IG post, and you were connected to one of the organizations. Even the three speakers, which we'll get to in a second, two of them are my brothers, and I am myself, of course, but all three of us are connected. And as you think of that, as you think of the people, the patients you serve, the people that are personally in your life, you will start to see and understand how and where and why everything and everyone is connected. And what we hope to do here today is to share with you 1, 2, 3 gems, 1 or 2 or 3 gems. And I did it on purpose, 1, 2, 3, because you already knew what was coming next, because you've heard that before. And that's the connection, the gems for you to take home. So with that, we'll go over to the next side to understand who exactly is in the room. So I see my fiance is joining from her iPhone. I like saying that, so I got to start off with that. So I'm trying to get kudos when I get home. So my fiance is on the phone. Who else do we have here on the phone? I saw a nurse in here. Let me know in the chat. I know we got some pharmacists in here. We have some nurses. Do we have any people from Nigeria specifically? Do we have some people from Nigeria in the chat? Trying to understand. Okay, Precious David. Got the magic pharmacist from Danya. Hey, Alpha now. There we go. All right. Do we have some people? I know we have some people from the States. Do we have anybody? We rarely get people from Cali, so this is me going on a limb. Do we have some people from Cali out here today? Anyone from California? Or the West Coast? I'll take the West Coast. We already talked about West Africa. Let's see if we got West Coast America in here. Okay. See, Nigeria's in here tough. Anyone in here from Africa that is not from Nigeria? I see you, Shakarat the nurse. Ghana, okay. Today only. Today only, I will give you the rice, just today, because we're trying to be nice. Tomorrow, just know that Nigeria to the world. I see you, Emmanuel. So with that, we wanted to make it really, really, really clear, no matter where you're from, one, we have a lot of different people in here today. We have pharmacy students, we have nurses, we have people from Nigeria, people from Ghana, nobody from Cali today, but hey, that's improvements for next time. That means we got to do our marketing. Me and Marissa, we're going to work on that. But we got people from everywhere. We have our leadership team from both Pills and Innovamp. I see Tola on the screen. I'm not going to go too far because I'm going to mess up something. But Tola's clearly on my screen, shining over there. And so we want to make sure we're bringing in all of these perspectives. While we do have 3 speakers today, what did I say at the beginning? Everything and everyone is connected. So as I pass this over to my brother, Chandler has started it off. I'm in the middle, and today I decided not to wear glasses so I can show the power of connection with or without glasses. I'll hand it over to my brother Josh, and he's going to share a little bit more of what you're seeing today.
Well, good evening or good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, no matter where you are. We are definitely worldwide today. It's an honor to be here with you guys, and I mean, man, we literally are worldwide. When I think about when this organization started, and the founder Brian and we had a conversation. He wanted to go global, and I said, "What? We need to have a foundation here." So, but his vision has come to fruition, even in his absence. It's just been amazing to see. But we are here because we are connected. And I just want to share with you that connection doesn't have to be with, hi, Dr. So-and-so, or hi, Mrs. So-and-so, who am I? That's great. You know, the professional connections are great, but how we became connected, I'll just share a quick story with you, is that I went to my first Student National Pharmaceutical Association conference, or SNAPA for short. And I was quite intimidated because you have all these amazing professionals around the country that are coming together that actually look like you around the country. And there was a guy that was walking down the aisle in this tan suit. It was a tan suit, and I said, "Huh, okay." And he was definitely charismatic, the life of the party. People knew him, and it was none other than my brother George. And had I did not know that him walking down that aisle would literally change my life forever, because I became a national officer with him. And if anybody knows George, if he sees something inside of you, he's going to capitalize on that and really push things and connect with you like none other. And so what I thought was for a season turned out to be a lifetime. If you see me, 9 times 10, you now see George. We are literally yin and yang. And we were able to literally pour into everybody, not only personally around us, his beautiful fiance Portia. I got to give another shout out. So that's my sis. And having that relationship, even with her, came through a connection with George. Now, it didn't come because, oh, this is Precious, that this is Porsche, and I saw Precious name. This is Porsche here trying to get involved and trying to do anything. No, it was, this is the lady in my life. And here we are as a family. And so that's why it's so important to have those connections. And then you see another gentleman, another brother, little brother on the call, Chandler. He was big in SNAPA. We wanted to be a national officer. He wasn't, but we connected on a personal level. We talked about his time at Xavier. He's actually part of the Divine Nine. He's an Alpha, along with George. And so there's a connection right there that they didn't even know. And here they go. And so it's all about connecting. And it's not just connecting professionally, is connecting personally, and these are lifelong relationships. And so the moral or the gem of the story is that no matter where you are, you can connect with anybody. We have blood running through our veins. We go through a lot together, but we also grow with each other. And so that connection is not just a personal thing. It's also can be a professional and a lifelong thing. And so that's how we're connected. And I just wanted to share that quick story, that it didn't start off professional and trying to figure out, oh, so-and-so, how can you meet me here, and so forth. It really started as a personal relationship that was organic and now has turned into a lifelong brotherhood. So on the next slide, I'll talk about, wait, this going back. Okay, perfect. So I will now turn it back over to George, who talks about, or maybe Chandler actually, talking about what is the power of connection.
All right, thank you, Josh. And man, that was a testimony right there. So that was really powerful. And that's what connection can really do and bring out of people. If you're just now joining us, once again, I want to welcome you to the Global Exchange Mentoring Program, also known as GEM, hosted by Pharmacy Initiative leaders, PILS, in the United States, connecting with our amazing colleagues in Africa via Innovamp. And if you're joining us right now, we're talking about the power of connection. And here I have a definition from Forbes, which is the American Business Magazine. And they say the power of connection is about building relationships. And anytime we can spend time together, we have the ability to connect. This is this time. This is the time now we're spending an hour and a half plus with each other. Let's do something about it. Let's build relationships. Let's connect with one another. Let's figure out what each other can do for each other and continue to give and continue to invest in each other like no other. So for this presentation, I'm going to hand it off to my brother George to give you an overlay, to give you an outline of what we're going to be talking about, so you can have an idea of what you can continue to focus on for the power of connection.
So since I'm with my people today, from Africa, Edo State to be exact, I can tell you. So of course you see George on the screen, but my first name, my correct name is Osazua George Okpamen. And when I told my mom that I was doing something about connection, I'm the first of 3 boys, she told me, When you plant seeds and you water it, you will get the fruit. When you plant seeds and you water it, you will get the fruit. That was for both George and Osazua. You heard the accent and not accent. And so because of that, and you see what you see on the screen, I also showed you, hey, I told you about myself personally. I allowed you to know professionally, which I didn't, but I'm a pharmacist because if you're a Nigerian, you can only be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer. So professionally, that's my connection to the profession. But then the purpose of that, my name is God's gift of wealth. And so my mom always reminds me that's not wealth of money, it's the wealth of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And so she's always speaking in parables. What does that mean to you? And how does that mean the connections here? First, when you water it, that means you are planting something, you're giving. And when you're talking about a connection, again, if you remember nothing else today, anything and everything is connected. And you get connected by giving first. You give first personally. That allows you to then build a connection professionally in the career or the place that you want to go. And then as that capitalizes or compounds, then you're able to have a purpose. And as you think of things in that manner, which we'll get to deeply, have that be your gem. First, when you plant something, you're giving, you're watering it, you're cultivating your career over time, and then you will get the fruit of the purpose of that connection. And so if you think of things first from what you're giving, how you're tying it back to your origin, your personality, or your person, whatever that is that you're for, that would allow you to then grow and have purpose in the connections that you have. So with that, I'll pass it back over to Chan and we'll go deeper, or actually Josh, and we'll go deeper on the personal.
Appreciate it, Gio. So if anybody knows me, I am huge on personal. I have a strong foundation and belief that if you as an individual are not taken care of and you as an individual are not invested in sowed into, how can you pour back into others? And so sometimes in leaders like to be in the forefront, but true, authentic leadership means that you serve from behind in the back and you uplift as you climb. And so if you notice, even though it's not, I mean, I guess it would be kind of normal, but I'm in the back. I like to be in the back, love to push forward. My brothers push me all the way in the front sometimes because I really do believe in serving from behind. Because when you are personal with somebody, each other, if somebody were to fall back, you can catch them. Notice I'm in the back, you can actually catch them. And it's so important that you recognize that as you are developing your relationships, as you are cultivating these friendships, these lifelong bonds, recognize that in order for those bonds to happen, you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional in how you communicate. You have to be intentional in how you invest your time. And you have to be able to also be open and transparent where you're communicating maybe some of those hard, critical things that they need. Because if you do not tell them the truth, they will not be able to grow. And so here you guys thought, oh, we're here to learn about how do you connect on a professional level and get to that next stage and all those things. Well, truly, how to really get to those next stages is all about developing that personal relationship and really cultivating those skills. And so that is exactly why Pills exists. Established in 2016, we recognize that nobody really that looked like us, that really felt like us, and really understand what we were going through to try to get to our next stage was going to invest in us. So we established a social enterprise to really change the look and feel, and I'll even say the look, face, and feel of healthcare at every stage through community coaching and connection. And really that look, what you see, may be something different than somebody else. But actually who we are, that face that we embody is also connected and important. And so with the Pills connection, it's so important to see that literally on the screen, you actually see who we are, that we are a diverse group of leaders with diverse backgrounds, really to make sure that we are investing at every single stage of somebody's journey. And that's why we exist. Literally the foundation is connecting, but with us, it's all about personal. So you'll never hear us say, oh, our team this, our team that. Our family is who we are because we're literally connected at every stage, which is personal, professional, could be spiritual, could be mental, all facets, that's who we are. So I want to turn it over to my brothers again to continue the conversation about how we can truly connect in an authentic way.
Wow, let's just give Dr. Blackwell some kudos for those words of wisdom and that amazing testimony on how important personal connections are. A lot of times we look beyond personal connections, and we cannot allow ourselves to do that. But also we want to talk about how personal connections also translate and can be affiliated with professional connections. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. And I want to say that, and I'm going to continue to say it, that, my story is truly aligned with pills because of the connections that I've had over time. And the story of pills truly is the power of connection. And I'm going to go through some of that with you today. So please walk with me on this journey. So when in 2016, I was a young pharmacy student ready to graduate, and I wanted nothing more in this world to match with a residency. And I would do no matter what it would take to make sure that I matched, with the residency program my choice, because I saw myself being in a hospital, being in ambulatory care pharmacy, and impacting patients of various backgrounds. But how could I do that? How could I allow myself the resources? How could I allow myself the people that I needed to help me get to that next stage? And so I utilized all my channels possible. And I was able to find a mentor, to find a coach who actually is one of the founders of Pills, Dr. Brian Sackey. And he introduced me not only to resources, he introduced me to a community that I thought that I didn't even know existed. So me being a part of one of our programs, the Protege program, allowed me to have connections with people in academia, in clinical pharmacy, in the industry world, in the first space created that was like that. And that was huge for me, because even when I, received my was able to secure my residency, able to graduate, those connections still held on to me as I went on to my next stage. And that really goes into why I think about all the time. I was a protege. I was able to get what I came here. I left here with something. And the thing is that I think about it all the time. Why did I stay? Why did I continue on to become an ambassador, to become a director, to become a leader within this particular organization? Because it could have been just touch and go. I could have left and did whatever I wanted to do. But once again, those connections with people like Brian Sackey, those connections and inspiration that I've gotten from Dr. Joshua Blackwell, Dr. George Oakman, Onye Ononogbu, Ashley Harrell, so many different people that have impacted me. And I knew that I wanted to do the same for hundreds, for thousands, for millions, so they can do the same for others. And that's where the ambassador community comes in, where we have a cohort, a community of pharmacists that are literal connections with each other for different networks, for different guidance, for different consultations among each other and for the community. And with this ambassador community is where I was able to be connected with two amazing individuals who became our two first global ambassadors, and they are Rosalind and Iberi. So I definitely want to give kudos to these two amazing women who, without them joining the Pills Ambassador community 2 to 3 years ago, this right here, what we're doing today, would not have happened. It was Iberi's vision. It was her persistence. I still have all the email connections. I still have all the Slack messages where her vision was about global impact. And our vision was about global impact too, but her connections with me actually made it reality. And Iberi is the founder of Innovamp, which you all know about, but just definitely want to give everyone in Innovamp their kudos for being that hub to really improve the healthcare systems in Africa, to invent, innovate, and revamp everything dealing with healthcare in Africa. And you are here today because of them, and we definitely want to give them kudos for their connections and for their leaders. And because of all that, what they did and what the work that we put in, we have actually created a community of leaders, a community of leaders that we can combine our efforts to make sure that GEM is the gem for you, and that you are also represented as gems for your respective communities. So I definitely want to give kudos to everyone on this page because these people are continuing to work on your behalf and continuing to work for thousands of people as we go along. And without further ado, all of what I just mentioned is the power of connection. But the biggest question is, what is power without purpose? So with that said, I'm going to hand it off to my brother, George Oakman, to give us some purpose.
So if we can just take a second to take in all of what Chandler just shared. He had and went through a professional program. And with that same program, he decided to be intentional with his connections and turn his one experience into an experience that hundreds could take part in. And from those hundreds, two powerful women took that and took it globally and turned it into thousands. And over the last 2 years, that's what's actually brought you all together. So if I could say that again very clearly, Chandler started where he was in his community. Through the classrooms that he took and the career that he had, he was able to source additional capital from people across the pond. That person, those two people started in their community, created a classroom and career environment, which all connects to what you're seeing in front of our screen. And so as you think of what the Next 5 is doing, we are backed first by the people, the persons, the actual individual, then turning their vision into a professional reality filled with purpose. And as you look at our strategy, not just for our next 5 years, but actually how we run our organization pills daily, weekly, our focus for this year, year 5, and going into year 6 in a couple of weeks, is to be a part of the community. But it's not enough to only be in our communities. We also want to, from our communities, impact our classrooms. And we believe as we invest to impact in our classrooms, that will accelerate our careers. So that yes, you'll be able to be better practitioners. Yes, you'll be able to be better professionals, but you'll also be able to accelerate in those careers and practitioners and expand where you're able to practice, which will allow you to obtain more actual financial capital, but then social capital, to where at first you are the expert in a particular industry of healthcare, but then based off of your ability to articulate your impact, you're also going to be seen as an expert in finance. You're also going to be seen as the expert in business. You're also going to be seen as the expert in clothing or movies. And then as you do that, you bring it all the way back to where you started to invest, to impact in the community, and you make that go over and over again. That's what we believe is the purpose. And with that, I want to pause and see what people are taking away in the chat. What are 2 unrelated careers that you see that are actually connected? And to say this question a little bit better, what are 2 careers that might seem unrelated, but are actually connected? Love that, Tola. Health and business. Because health is wealth and wealth is health. But a career in health and a career in business. Love that, Joy. Graphic design and pharmacy. Health and tech. Pharmacy and project management. Y'all getting it. Y'all some rock stars. I think I need y'all to be on this side. What you're seeing here is 2 unrelated careers are and can be connected. Why? Because everyone and everything is connected. I see Chantel coming out of her hole. Chantel don't say nothing for nothing, but you're going to talk about some graphic design, Chantel going to come out with an emoji. She ain't going to just talk, going to come out with an emoji. But with that, again, we want to bring this back to where we started. When we think about the 3 types of connection, of course, you can say 500 or 600 different ways to be connected. And I also want to say what we didn't say. I'm so proud of us for not saying it at all this whole entire time. Probably because most of y'all are muted, but you probably were thinking it. Networking. Networking is not a thing. Networking, you have a network of connection, a network of relationship. But when we boil down the types of connections or the types of networks you have, we've boiled them down to these 3 simple areas. And then also these 3 simple stepwise way to build your connections. We boil them down to personal, professional, because the majority of the people on this call today are in the health sector, and then turning those into purposeful. There's a purpose you're connected to someone. And if you think about if you have 0 connections and how do you get a new connection, starting first with yourself and what of yourself can you give to someone else? From that, how can you think about the career you want or the career you have? You can operationalize that connection, or you can make that connection turn a little bit more automatic or systematic. And then as you've done that, if you've got the personal connection, you figured out how to make it professional, how can you expand that with purpose? And then start it all over again with the next person. Hopefully that's what you've taken away here today. But with that, we want to again reiterate what we've shared today. Everything and everyone is connected. This is history right now because these are our first 3 actual gems. I heard a birdie that we might be coming out with some t-shirts because, pharmacy and, graphic design go together, but then actually you add business on top of that, we might be having that. Everything and everyone is connected. Number 2, take this down. The story of pills, the pharmacy initiative leaders, is the power of connection. Whether it was Brian having an idea in DC and connecting with Josh to then bring the other 3 co-founders, or it was Pills and Chandler building an ambassadors program, which has again turned out this partnership with Innovamp. The story of Pills and how we expand year over year, decade over decade, is about the power of connection. And then lastly, connections. Once you have a network of connections, a network of relationships, like money, they will compound both in your community locally and then also in your community globally. And so as you think of what Pills has been able to do for the last 5 years, and literally in year 5, we've started the GEM program that has gone and had almost 100 participants. We're at 69, we'll see where we get to, but almost 100 participants globally. This is the power of connection, and also understanding our own purpose, the power of our own profession, the pharmacy profession, going beyond just being what traditional has been, but going non-traditional, and then taking it all the way down to what's important to you personally. So with that, we want to put some things in practice for you. I know we've said, Chandler, I'll pass this to you in a second. I know we've said, hey, to follow us on our socials. Here's all the socials we have. We want to be very intentional and say that we're trying to grow from backwards our TikTok, our Instagram, our Twitter. We have our TikTok star on here that started in our year 5, our first TikTok, Marissa. We also want to make sure, again, that health and technology, as I saw on there, they go hand in hand. And so as we continue to expand our technology, we want to expand our connections across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, we have our staples of LinkedIn and Facebook. So with that, I'll pass it back to my brother Chan to take us away.
Awesome. Yeah, let's also just soak in all the greatness that we just heard from Dr. George, man. That was a lot of greatness, a lot of actionable things that we can take from his message. So I definitely want us all to just pause there and really soak it all in and let it marinate. And once again, kudos to these amazing speakers today. They've been through the connections, they've been through the stories, and they're really showcasing, why they are here today to help you and give to you as we give to each other. I also want to point out, like, if you're just now joining us, this is the official Global Exchange Mentoring Program, also known as GEM, and you are a part of history because this is the first of its kind collaboration between an organization in the United States with organization in Africa with Innovamp and Pills. So thank you so much for being a part of this today. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're currently on Instagram at Pills Connect and at Innovamp _. And we're currently live tweeting. So get on Twitter, make sure to retweet, quote tweet, things of that nature with at Pills Connect and at Innovamp _RX. So with that said, we gave you some education. Now is our time to do these breakout rooms. So we really want to connect with you, learn more about you, and then really being able to build these relationships that we have for today. So with our breakout rooms, we're going to be separated into 4 breakout rooms, and want to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to introduce themselves, your name, where you went to school, what is your career or your career goals, and location, where are you located. We definitely want to find out which circle of the world you're in, so that we can once again know where you're coming from. And then once again, we're going to respond to the specific topic and build off of that. And what are the topics, you may ask? So we have room 1 is going to be dedicated to the recap. So this is going to be led by Dr. George, and we're going to talk about what did you take away from this particular gym session. Room 2, that is going to be with me, yours truly, about the future. What topics do you want to see from gym going forward, and how can we maximize your time within gym? Room 3 is going to be with the amazing Dr. Joshua Blackwell. We're going to talk all things careers. What are you doing right now to elevate yourself and others? And then we have, once again, the amazing Dr. Brooks, Marissa Brooks, for community talk. How are you doing? We definitely want to see how you're doing, have some discussions on, various things that's going on with you. And I think this is very important for everyone. We're going to have about 45 minutes of these breakout rooms. And then we're going to be able to come back after to have another recap on everything that we, talked about today. And then, after that, we'll be sure to give you more information on the next educational connection session. And these breakout rooms will be available for you to join. So you're able to join which one that you want to discuss on. And without further ado, we'll get started with that. But okay, thanks, Josh. I appreciate it.